What triggered the mystery of iniquity? And why does Revelation 13:8 identify this? The misperception about Revelation 13:8, the lamb that was slain from the foundation of the world, is that it's erroneously linked with Calvary. Yet, as has been stated previously, this verse is in the context to the mark of the beast, which equals the one God, the omega of deadly heresies. There is, however, the divine witness of the law of two, John 1:1, which is confirmed in John 17:2. Glorify me with the glory that I had alongside you prior to the foundation of the world. This is the answer to the matter of confusion and misconception. Just prior to Calvary, Christ was glorified prior to the cross, the transfiguration. And that detail conveys much because it reveals eternal righteousness of the law of two prior to the foundation of the world. The slaying prior to the foundation of the world had to be the Lamb's decision to lay down his life. It revealed in Psalms 110:1, the right side of where he sits was back then the eternal righteousness of the law of two. The lowering and the hanging out with the angels may have produced a disrespect on the side of those Luciferian angels. That initial lowering may have resulted in the mystery of iniquity. Since you lowered yourself, I am like you. The two goats, Leviticus 16. The two sanctuary goats equals identical. The Lord's goat reveals that false equality, since what was behind the Lord's goat was eternal righteousness. But to the heavenly host there was some mystery involved as to why Lucifer could not be in that position. But as has been discussed, later or prior was the decision made. Perhaps it was made when he decided to lower himself to hang out with the angels, as angel of the Lord, his comrades, and not necessarily the other way around after the fall of Satan. There is a saying about guilt by association. This association with the angelic host was not he who made tempting Lucifer or the angels. The mystery of iniquity was given birth by way of growing envy, that we are the same. It is a fact Lucifer was created beautiful, Ezekiel 28. The question is, was it to fulfill his downfall if he would let sin dominate him? If Satan would not have permitted sin to dominate him, there would have been no sin or mystery of iniquity. Ultimately, this results in the fact that he who made had to have known. The fault did not lay with he who made. It was the outworking of his plan, but he didn't sin. Lucifer sinned. Fact is, he was stupid. For the creation was subjected to vanity, not of its own will, but by reason of him who subjected it, in hope that the creation itself also shall be delivered from the bondage of corruption into the liberty of the glory of the children of God. For we know that the whole creation groaneth and travaileth in pain together until now. And not only so, but ourselves also, who have the first fruits of the Spirit, even we ourselves groan within ourselves, waiting for the adoption, to wit, the redemption of our body. This lowering of Christ and his relationship among the angels somehow caused a split. Christ was the only one permitted to enter into the councils of eternal one. See Zechariah 6:13, in the northern sector, equals the sides of the north. Isaiah 14:13. This was prohibited for the angels. Again, we see the temptation or attitude as being, if we are the same, equals two goats on the Day of Atonement. The malfeasant thinking being, why is it that I, Lucifer, am not permitted to enter into these divine councils? Well, let me find out for myself. Let me fly over the nebulas and the stars to arrive at that point of UC, unity consciousness, where I can become like the Most High. The mystery of iniquity. The mystery of iniquity, the mystery of ascending by false righteousness since I myself really don't possess true righteousness, I will now define my own self-righteousness and seek mine own knowledge, and not simply believe what this guy who claims to be the creator, if he truly is or not. If he is not, then I can become like him, just like this other guy who is equal to me. Two goats. Why would not this be the self-talk of Lucifer? Well, because in those divine councils, it was already determined that this lowering would trigger the mystery of iniquity. Yet it wasn't the sin of he who made, it was foreknowledge that one day he who made could truly trust creation, in which he could truly lower himself by his spirit, himself dwelling within them, as well as filling up the universe at all points with my tried and trusted people on planet Earth, through my first man Adam, to later accomplish my goal of placing myself within them after their trials on earth, thus completing, I, Christ myself, placing myself within you as your hope of glory, which is not and can never be based on the mystery of iniquity. The reason this summary is peerless in accuracy is because of a lot of things. First, the reference to Lucifer and the conclusions about the mystery of iniquity being tested to the uttermost, and why he who made hung out with the angels as the angel of the Lord, so that the entire concept of fleshing out and the mystery of iniquity is a genius military strategy, exposing the enemy of eternal righteousness. But also because in respect to the mystery of iniquity, there exists a difficult verse that has remained a mystery for many, and this lowering of he who made explains Isaiah 45:7. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. Other than Revelation 13:8, with 2 Timothy 1:9, with Philippians 2:5-10, what evidence can anyone get to the true basis and why ultimate meaning of why God created evil without any reference to eternal righteousness? It's impossible. It must be concluded Isaiah 45:7 has a close relationship to 13:8 of Revelation, and the mystery of iniquity, because Revelation 13 concludes with the mark of the beast and worship of the image, because it is only eternal righteousness that explains the growth of envy, until in the fullness expression of the mystery of iniquity and is experienced on earth. Why? So that conclusion of the mystery of iniquity is known, recognized, and understood with final forewarning of the three angels' messages that have always been based in eternal righteousness of he who made, and always, which is why one worships he who made. See Revelation 13:8-9. And why? Because he was also God. John 1:1. What most do not see when they read Revelation chapter 13, what exists is a fact. The first beast and second beast surround either side of Revelation 13:8-9. Why then the prominence of 13:8 when everyone else is geeking and hand-wringing about the mark of the beast in 666? If you can draw the proper conclusion about eternal righteousness of he who made, which is not God the eternal Son, fundamental 4, or the Trinity baloney, one can only then begin to see why the mark of the beast and or the worship of the image is ultimately the worship of self-righteousness. And anything that justifies self, the mystery of iniquity. This mystery of iniquity was detected in Lucifer, that old serpent, the devil. Revelation 13:8 is telling everyone with ears to hear that the origins of the mark of the beast is for the purpose of the annulment of eternal righteousness and the seal of God. For those who wish to read further, review Ezekiel 28 from the RSV. Note the word engravings in verse 13 equals meleket. The mystery of iniquity is the ultimate example of the reversal of the seal of God. because the Elohim from eternity placed a divine engraving as author of all creation. The seal of God, Revelation 7, effectuates the engraving of the law of two, equals the two fathers in Revelation 14:1, which is to signify the authenticity of the 144 and what? Their faith in eternal righteousness by faith, and their immortality. The eternal righteousness of he who made is the first angel's warning and verity. The first angel pronounced the command to worship he who made, not as a Trinity or God the begotten eternal Son. No. There is another realm of things to consider about Lucifer prior to the creation of the earth and eternal righteousness. It is his self-righteousness, the mystery of iniquity. A lot of ignorance is shared by the padres and elders of Laodicea, and what comes with that is the confusion about Revelation 13:8 and the cross, let alone the first angel, the law of two, and it's all there in Revelation 13, sitting there for the contrast. How? That at the commencement of the three woes, the rest of the universe is watching the drama unfold, right? The entire meaning of eternal righteousness of he who made, and the transfiguration, and then the cross, and at the end of the age, Daniel 12 tells you the controversy over the mystery of iniquity results in the contrast of the mark of the beast versus the seal of God. And once fully exposed for all of its horrors into humanity and creation, there is pronounced from heaven, it is done. It is then no wonder there is silence in heaven at the time of the opening of the seventh seal that follows the seal of God and Revelation 7. And when he had opened the seventh seal, there was silence in heaven about the space of half an hour. And I saw the seven angels which stood before God, and to them were given seven trumpets. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. That great wrath is the disclosure to the universe and the humanity what is the conclusion of self-righteousness. John 1:1 states the word, he who made, is eternal as God is eternal, and Satan was created in whom was found the mystery of iniquity. Why would not the law of two, the two fathers' names, be the seal of God? Think about it. When one realizes he who made chose to relinquish his self in the council of peace from days of old, which was Christ's eternal alpha identity, his eternal righteousness, first as the lamb slain from before the foundation of the world, Revelation 13:8, death of self and all self-righteousness confirmed in Genesis 3:15, to die taking the form of a slave, the offering of David, offspring of David, Omega, to usher in everlasting righteousness. And furthermore, God said the heavens and man require cleansing, Hebrews 9:23. It was therefore necessary that the patterns of things in the heavens should be purified with these, but the heavenly things themselves with better sacrifices than these. There is individual cleansing on the antitypical Day of Atonement, the fall feast. There is the seal of God with the two fathers' names, John 1:1. To establish forever eternal righteousness, the true divine bedrock of divinity, of the law of two. God is saying the mystery of iniquity will be exposed by Revelation 13:8. Revelation 13:8 is the trigger that exposed the mystery of iniquity from eternal ages past. Now consider a chapter you have read many times. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power and seat and great authority. And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. And they worshipped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast, and they worshipped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb, slain from or prior the foundation of the world. If any man have an ear, let him hear. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. There it is, the 2 beasts. The first beast and the second beast. Midst is the chapter in Revelation 13:8, the lamb slain prior to the foundation of the world. That equals Alpha and Omega, 2 Timothy 1:9, the doctrine of eternal righteousness. That maketh war. Yes, the testimony of Revelation 13:8 exposes the mystery of iniquity. This verse exceeds in importance the mark of the beast, or 666.